Hi, everyone. Kelly Jean Daymeyer here, and I'm the founder of Kelly Jean Wellness. And I help people reverse chronic health conditions. I also help people lose weight the healthy way and keep it off for a lifetime. And I help people overcome addictions and also overcome like emotional compulsive eating issues and so forth. So there's a variety of things that I do, and I help women and men of all ages, even teens and young adults. I have with me today a woman that I've been working with for the last 8 weeks, and I was super excited to bring her on and introduce her to all of you and do this interview with her because, you know, I've worked with so many people over the years, and there are those people who like come to me with that are just, their bodies are broken down, they're in a chronic health condition. They are feeling broken and desperate on every level, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. And that is really what happened with Tina. And then when they make such a huge transformation in such a short amount of time, it's like it never ceases to amaze me. And I've had these situations over the years for sure. And I just get very, very excited about bringing someone like Tina to you all so you can feel inspired as well from her story. And so I'm going to introduce Tina to you, and we're going to talk about what she's gone through, you know, what happened, and, you know, what condition she was in when she came to me 9 weeks ago, and what has transpired for her, you know, in her journey. It's incredible. So Tina, you know, thank you for coming on today and being willing to share with so many people, you know, some topics that are pretty, you know, personal, really, that have happened to you. But I'm very thankful to you because, you know, it's one thing if I share with some, you know, people, my community, about stories and this and that, but when they hear it from that person themselves, there's going to be people out there, guaranteed, that are going to go, oh my gosh, I am going through exactly what she went through. Oh my gosh, you know, and they're going to feel some inspiration. And that's our goal today, isn't it, Tina, is to bring forth your story in a way that somebody out there who might be suffering from any part of it is going to know that, hey, there is help for them and that they too can get beyond the issues. So thank you for coming on today.
I can't thank you enough, Kelly Jean. I'm so glad that I met you.
Thank you, Tina.
Mm-hmm.
I feel the same way. I feel the same way. And so, you know, 9 weeks ago, I mean, it might get emotional on this interview. Because,
oh, yes, very much.
Yeah, because, you know, sometimes, you know, first of all, you're in the middle of a move right now. Like, you're moving your entire life right now out of, you know, one city to a whole nother city. And that's like after having gone through what you've gone through in the midst of all of what you've had to deal with physically, emotionally, spiritually, and then now you're doing this whole life change. And, you know, you've gone through such tremendous transformation so rapidly that emotionally right now, I'm feeling emotional too, because, you know, we've been on a whirlwind of, let's say, wonderful transformation. It's almost like, you know, we haven't had really time to sit down and thaw out emotionally about what's really happened here.
Right. It happened fast, and I'm forever grateful. Really grateful, because I could never have done this without you.
Thank you.
Thank
you for trusting.
No, thank you.
Well, you know, I always say that it's like, you know, I get so much out of it myself. And especially when someone like yourself comes to me and says, I want it all, and I'm ready to do, I am ready to totally receive what it is that you want to give me and show me, and, you know, how you want to help me. And I'm 100% on board. That is just like, I can't tell you how wonderful that is for me. But, you know, you came to me after having just come out of the hospital with diverticulitis, and you were absolutely like in bed on antibiotics, feeling like you were dying.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to talk about diverticulitis so that people understand what it is?
Well, I have abused my body my whole entire life. I have 5 sisters. They're all thin. I was the only chubby one. I was chubby my whole life. I was fat, and I just abused food. I abused drugs. I just was so unhealthy. And
also you have the alcohol dependency too.
And I did drink a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And my mother passed away 2 years ago. And a month after she passed away, I got I had been having stomach problems, didn't know. I just figured it was, I was eating bad. I was drinking a lot. And I ended up getting this horrible, I just could not get rid of my stomach, and it was terrible. And we were traveling to go see my father, who was 101 years old, to help him for a weekend in Colorado. And so we took a road trip, my husband and I didn't feel good when we left. I just thought maybe, okay, I've got, I just didn't eat something right. Well, I barely made it to Denver, Colorado, ended up in an emergency room because the pain was so bad in my stomach and I couldn't eat. And I was diagnosed with diverticulitis. I had never heard of it. And it's basically, you get these pockets in your intestines, and it's usually diet related. They don't have this in the Asian countries. They don't have this in Europe because of the preservatives and all the junk that we eat. And basically it so I got started on antibiotics. 3 days later, the pain was so intense that I had to go into the hospital. I was told I had an abscess in my intestinal tract from the diverticulitis. And I had to spend 3 days in the hospital. We were trying to drive home, and I ended up in Utah in a hospital, and I had to do IV antibiotics. And after 4 days, I was able to drive home. And then I went and saw my doctor, and they just said, okay, yeah, you have diverticulitis. Keep taking these antibiotics for 2 weeks. And
And it isn't uncommon, by the way, for people to have, diverticula in the, in the intestine. However, when they get inflamed and infected, that is when it turns into diverticulitis, and that's what you had, and that's
what I had.
Yeah, and so people can lose parts of their colon from having an episode like that. It's very serious,
Oh, it's very serious. And I just can't, I probably had this for a while, like with the belly bad stomach, but my understanding is I wasn't eating because I didn't know what to eat, and I felt so terrible. And I had to go to my mother's memorial service, and I was just drinking alcohol, and I wasn't, and that was just probably exacerbating the situation. So when I came back, I didn't know what to do. And then I started going on the internet, and then that was just down this crazy rabbit hole. Some people said, start this. Other people would say, go ahead and eat yogurt and these other things. And then you'd read something else that said, no, don't do the yogurt. So then I went and saw a nutritionist through my insurance, and it was just basically, here's a list of things you can eat, showing me these little plastic pieces of food. But I didn't really understand nutrition. I've never been really one to cook. I just always took the fast track. I did a lot of fast food, and I ate a lot of greasy foods and all the things that you're not supposed to do when you have this diverticulitis. So
yeah, and so there you were, in the hands of sort of, the Western medicine world with, even with the nutritional piece, right? And you weren't finding the answers, and that person wasn't really, hand-holding. They weren't holding your hand through it, and also teaching you, what is an anti-inflammatory diet? What is the optimal diet for you? How do you blood sugar stabilization was something you never learned how to do. There were just so many things that you didn't learn about. Really,
no, I didn't learn anything. I learned nothing.
Yeah, and then
I did that for like a month and a half, just trying to not eat the fast foods, and I kind of cut back the alcohol.
Yeah.
And then started drinking again, and I'm kind of all or nothing. So I didn't drink every day, but when I did drink, I didn't just have one drink. I had one's good, two's better, three's better. And then I would feel sick the next day. I'd have a horrible stomach ache. And this just was like this vicious cycle. And so I ended up getting, a couple months later, I got another flare up. I had to go back to the doctor. I had to go back on antibiotics again. Still not really knowing how to eat And nutrition, I didn't know carbs, I didn't know protein, I didn't know any of that. I just didn't want to, I guess, for whatever reason. So then I did okay for a little while, for maybe like 6 months, but then the drinking started increasing again. And it wasn't every day, but we had a whole group of friends and everything was around drinking, and it was every Friday and Saturday night. And then I would feel terrible for a couple days. And this last time, just 10 weeks ago, I went out with a girlfriend. I didn't eat breakfast. I didn't eat anything. And I sat in a bar for 5 hours and just drank. We were having fun. We were meeting people. It was great, but I just drank. I didn't eat. And then we were supposed to meet friends that night. So we went and met friends, and then I continued to drink. I don't even think I may have had a salad, but I didn't. Then the next day, it really got me. And I was so sick, and worse than I'd ever felt before. And I did not want to go back in the hospital. That was like, and I was getting ready to go see my grandkids in 2 weeks in Idaho. And I just was like, there's no way that I can go back in the hospital. So, and it's so crazy because I had ordered some wine from a gal at my gym that teaches aerobics and spin. And I had to tell her, hey, I can't buy this alcohol from you right now, but I just, I'm not going to be drinking for a while, because I knew that I wasn't going to be able to do that. And she said, no problem. And she said, because I told her I had diverticulitis, I had a flare up. And she texted me back and she said, Tina, I have this gal that I've known for 20 years who specializes in gut repair. And it was heaven sent for me that you came into my life, because I was at the lowest I'd ever been in my whole life. Yeah. And she told me your name, and I went on and I just started Googling you, and I went onto your website and I started reading about your story and all the amazing things that you've done and the education that you had. And I basically
felt that it was a match.
It was heaven sent. That's all I can say. It was so perfect that everything came together. And we were in the process of selling our house. We were painting our house. So I was sick in my bedroom while the painters are cleaning my house. And my husband came home, and I basically said, I can't do this anymore. I need help. I can't go on. And so we called you, and
that's where it began, right there in your bed.
In my bed.
Yeah.
Yes,
and, down and out and feeling absolutely like
terrible.
How am I ever going to get well? And I don't even know what it is to feel even good anymore. And I don't even know if I can get there after this, right? Because that's how bad it was. You were in so much pain.
So much pain.
So, and it takes what it takes for all of us to finally hit a bottom, to become willing to go to whatever lengths to, number one, let go of certain substances or foods that literally lead us to a huge illness, right? And in your case, that's what it took. It took this was your bottom. So it's not such a bad thing when somebody hits that low of a bottom. It's just that we're thankful that your body was not too low to where it couldn't turn around. So that makes sense. Sometimes people cross a line to where the body sort of can't get back. But most of the time, the body can absolutely heal itself. And I see that over and over again. And in your case, sure enough, we got you through that initial phase, right, of the diverticulitis. We got you to the other side of that, and then began that deeper work in all fronts. We did the food. We dealt with blood sugar stabilizing you with your food, knowing what that is, because you wanted to lose weight as well, even though at that point that wasn't even
that wasn't even on the radar. I just wanted to, it took a lot longer. Each time I had a flare up, it took longer and longer to get back. And it took about 10 days.
Yeah,
before I could even, I mean,
eat normal food and
Right.
really have a normal diet. And then from there, we went right into getting you on an anti-inflammatory diet, get you blood sugar stabilizing. So we calmed all of, your colon, your intestines just got really calmed down. And then we also, got you prepared for the gut repair. And that needed to happen quickly. We did some functional blood analysis with you and really got to see, oh my gosh, you were flatlined with your D3s. My
Yep.
gosh.
Yeah, I remember you saying, I don't know how you can get your head off the pillow in the morning because and I had been told for like years, oh, you
Yeah,
should
you
take
were.
vitamin D. But I thought, oh, I'm not going to take, I'm out in the sun all the time. I play golf. I do all kinds of stuff outside. I don't need that. And I don't want to take any pills. And it was so crazy how in 2 weeks of taking those vitamin D drops,
Yeah. We got you up to what, 54 from a
yeah,
29.
from 27 to, yeah.
And
The,
by the way, everyone, you should be between 60 and 80. That's actually what we call functional ranges for your D3 levels. And so, anyway, so we're still kind of getting you up there, but it's perfect. You're just, increasing your D3s beautifully. You've lost, how much weight have you lost now?
I've lost 23 pounds.
Yeah, you've lost 23 pounds and it's been really healthy. It's done healthy. You're not hungry. You're not being, you're not feeling like you're on some sort of diet, right? Because that's the idea. We want
Oh
to,
my gosh.
yeah, super
Yeah.
satiated, super satisfied. Uh,
Never hungry, never hungry.
hmm,
I love that I'm totally level. I don't have major peaks. I don't have major valleys. I never felt better. It's crazy the things that I'm eating. My family, my husband dies because they're like, you never would eat this stuff before. I cook all the time. I've never cooked before. What I am eternally grateful for is the fact that I understand now nutrition. I know
yeah.
what proteins are. I know what it's so silly, but I didn't really
Because
have,
that's what we start with is educating right up front so everybody knows what it all means. And then
and
also
how it affects your body, and just, it
knowing
was,
your ratios, knowing at what intervals and how to bring the fats, carbs, proteins together. And in your case, which kinds, it's very important that people know what types, right? Especially according to like getting rid of inflammation and really wanting to start to now heal the tissues of your intestines. Because now we're in that gut repair phase as well, alongside of, the great nutrition that you're doing so that we can actually start to build up the tissues of your mucosal lining. That is the gut repair. So those are the specific types of supplements and probiotics that you're on. And so everything that's happening right now is just, you've done it all. And then the spiritual and the emotional piece and around letting go of the alcohol and the substances because you spent a lifetime self-medicating. And so,
yeah,
and
yes,
so
I
it's
did.
like the life coaching piece that we've been able to do together where you're, now learning how to be present in your life. And for you, there was a lot of people pleasing issues that you weren't really feeling you could be authentic in who you are. Instead, you were really, pleasing everyone else. You were being someone for everyone else rather than being who you really are authentically. Right.
And I
And
thought that I was doing a good job of that. And now that I am so aware and I'm so present, it's really it's really cool. I don't know why the heck I was so thinking that I always had to be, high and
life of
buzzed
the
all the
party, because I
time.
think you had said, you were the
Oh
life
yeah.
of the party. Every time you went somewhere, it was like, right?
And I had to do more than anybody else. I had to drink more. I had to, I had to get high more. Right at the very end, it wasn't even helping me anymore. Even with all the crazy, I was consuming so much, but nothing was even happening. So I thought, well, this is like a waste of money and a waste of time to be
Yeah.
doing all this. And to be, and I remember about week 4 or 5, not only did I start feeling better, but I started having such clarity in my mind. I could never
Yeah.
remember stuff. And I've got grandkids, and I just was like in this like fog. And that
Yes.
all has been so tremendous to be so clear and be so present now. And it just feels really good. And I am very proud of myself on how strong I really am, that I can handle all this, because it's been stressful selling a house. Now we're trying to buy a house. We had to move. It's just a lot, but I'm kind of glad that I'm clear-headed now.
Yeah. And there was really actually no other option for you either. You know, it's like, you really kind of had to do it when you had right then, because you know, your body had to heal. We had to get you healing fast.
Yes.
And so, you know, for people out there that think, oh, well, I have to wait to get through the big life event before I start healing my body and start making changes, you can see that, no, it's like during the course, it's very important. What's happened here is that too, what's really cool about all this is that you've learned what it is to actually make this a lifestyle, because guess what? Those of us that live it as a lifestyle, we lose people in our lives. We lose loved ones, they die, you know, or we go through huge events. But guess what? We know how to blood sugar stabilize. We know how to take our vitamins and supplements every day, and which ones. And we know how to take care of ourselves and get the sleep that we need during the course of those big life events. So imagine, I mean, you know, people usually say, oh, I have to wait till I get through that before I, you know, stay on track, or like, you know, do something like this, such a program. No, you know, and you've developed a muscle now. You have developed a muscle of knowing what it is to, hey, you think ahead. This is a priority. Making it a priority in the face of moving and buying a new home and selling a new home. You know what it is to your meals. You haven't missed your meals. And you don't go out and do junk food or fast food real quick, you know, in the middle of being busy. You know what it is to do things quickly, but make it healthy, and know exactly which, you know, certain foods and that you're going to be eating that are, you know, what you need to be eating. Right.
Right.
And you are adhering to that for yourself in the face of all of this. And that's developing a muscle, because that's what it takes to make it a lifestyle.
Yeah. And I never had done that before. And that's why this is just, it couldn't have come at a better time. I mean, I was at the bottom, yeah. And it doesn't take that much. It's really not, it's not as much, it's not as hard as I thought. And and then when I can reap the rewards of feeling so good.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was like, before this happened, I was going to the gym every day. I was there 2 and 3 hours. I never lost a thing.
A pound, because
I kept eating and drinking and, you know, being crazy.
Well, that was the other thing that we had to negotiate too, was the way you were approaching your workouts. So I was able to help you really approach the workouts in a way that you're not burning down your endocrine system and your, you know, your adrenals, right? And yeah, because and causing the body to go into fight or flight, which is equals accelerated aging. There's so many people in the gym settings that are actually, you know, they're in a state of accelerated aging, you know, and they are in the spin rooms, in the boot camps, in the, you know, and they can't understand why they aren't losing weight, right? And why they look older, right? They look like they are, you know, depleted, because they are. And so for you now, all of what we're doing for you physically is all about restorative, you know, sculpting, and definitely, you know, building up the foundational strength in your body, and, you know, making sure that we are bringing in that flexibility piece and not taking the heart rate so high for long periods of time, because that is just burning. That's just like basically kicking the adrenals. That's what and your thyroid. That's what it's doing.
Right.
So yeah, so you're able to see this beautiful weight loss, and it's done in a way that you're definitely losing fat. You're not losing lean body mass. Right. That's all staying intact, which is awesome. So what's going to happen is that your weight loss is like going to be really permanent. You know, it's really good quality weight loss, and you're going to hit those real reset points, kind of a thing. If that makes sense. So,
yeah. I really like the fact that I don't now just, you know, graze all night long. I'm not eating candies and cookies and cakes like I used to. I have no desire for
physical cravings are gone, because
they're all
stabilizing, and
I'm so
satiated.
The sugar stabilizing has really helped a lot. Yes.
And
I don't even think about, I mean, all my friends still drink. My husband drinks, not all the time, but we go out places. And I'm fine. I don't now that alcohol is a poison for my body.
Yep.
Because, and I've had enough. I've drank for a very long time, and it didn't work for me. So, and it's been great that you have been there to be a good sounding board so that I could talk through whatever I was feeling. And so it's just been, I am so grateful that I met you, because I never could have done this by myself. Never. And I praise that, and people will.
And nor should you, nor should you have to do all that by yourself, for gosh
sake. But to try and, I had no way of knowing where to go. And so to have someone with your knowledge, and, you went down, you had a journey too. So you understood where I was coming from, and, the insecurities that I had. And also the fact that I just surrendered. I just said, I've had enough. I've done enough. I was at my wit's end, and I'm so glad that I was able to, with your help, get on the right track. And I'm just so excited for the future now, that I have a future.
You look so happy.
Yeah, I am.
So peaceful, and you look so healthy. You've got this vitality.
Yeah.
I mean, you just look beautiful. And you're 62 years old, which, you look gorgeous.
Oh,
you just look amazing.
Well,
all of what we're doing, you're doing everything. You brought in the food. You've worked with now the right types of supplements and filling in deficiencies. The gut repair, we're getting the tissues healthy. Emotionally and spiritually, you're super present to life in new ways now.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's phenomenal. It's like, and this happened in just a short amount of time. And that's the inspiration I want to bring out to all of you out there, so that you know that it doesn't have to be some long, grueling years of, trial and error.
Right.
It can all come together for you. And, when you get the right type of guidance, right, and you're really willing and ready to really have it all, right?
Yes.
It's possible. So anyway, I'm just super excited, Tina. And, so here you are in Palm Springs now. You guys are, I think, found a house, and now you're trying to kind of negotiating phase.
So it's, there's a lot of, and, for weeks I was in a hotel and having to figure out how I was going to eat, and to be able to have done that and not gained anything and actually losing weight. And we just joined a new gym down here. So I'm doing that. It's just, it's wonderful.
Blessings everywhere. It's just everywhere around you. It's like, and I always say, it's like, as soon as we get in alignment, right alignment with ourselves, our higher selves, and spiritually, it's like we're in alignment, right? The universe, just like literally all the blessings are right there. It's when we're out of alignment, we're in self-will, and we're just headed for those brick walls, right? We're in major self-will, and we're driving ourselves into, destruction, right? Yeah. Nothing works. And then as soon as we hit that beautiful wall, the one that really takes us down, right? Then it's like, aha, as soon as we surrender and we say, oh my gosh, I'm ready to get back in alignment with who I'm meant to really be, my higher self, my highest self, that includes my, my greatest well self, my health wise and relationship wise and everything wise, right? It's like the universe is right there to totally support us.
Yes.
It's what we want and need.
Well,
we have to get out of our way, right?
Thanks to you. You have just been awesome. It's been the best thing. And it's interesting how people now come up and say, wow, you look really good. What are you doing? And then to hear them, their stories and how they are having issues.
Struggles.
Yes. Their struggles, or, oh gosh, my stomach's been hurting me for a long time. And then to see people too, to see how they, now I'm a lot more aware of people around me who,
a lot of people not well out there. And, as soon as you start feeling the vitality and and you've got yourself in that, living that lifestyle, right, of health, and you know what it feels like, and you're exuding that and you're embodying that, then of course you start to see others around you and really see the conditions that a lot of people are in. And because people adapt to a level of misery, that's what happens. And so, They don't know what it is to feel great, but you do now. And now like, you're that walking testimonial of what's possible. And I'm super excited about that. And so those of you out there, and Tina, I want to thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, it was my pleasure, and we still have more to do together. And those of you out there who, whatever your struggle is, whatever your challenge is, there is help for you. You can absolutely, hopefully you feel inspired by this conversation today. Feel free to reach out to me. I work with people all over the nation. And so you're welcome to actually get a nice conversation with me, a free consultation. So you can reach out, go to my website, kellyjeanwellness.com. You can email me or you can call me and set up a time to talk. Is there anything you want to say to anybody out there? Something that you would like to, any kind of words of
I'm just, you know what? There's so much that life has to offer, and you don't have to medicate, because it's a beautiful life without alcohol, without drugs, and it's so awesome to feel good every single day.
That's really
and to have great energy, and to not have like the mood swings that I would have. I mean, and to have my loved ones they're so happy for me, and they're happy to have me present in their lives. And so it's
so
just
beautiful.
Really terrific. Yes.
Thank
you, Kelly Jean. Thank you
so much. And everyone, thank you for tuning in and for listening, and have a beautiful rest of your day or night. All right. Take care. And again, go to kellyjeanwellness.com. All right. Bye-bye.